the path from the dock.
Okay.
And we know which direction then.
Just following the path then.
Yeah. At the very least, it looks like it has a focal point that is relatively close.
Make note of that.
Okay. But after the fog sets in, it is as thick as it usually is, which means it's very difficult to perceive through beyond your front door.
Right.
Alright. Khan starts pacing for a little bit, trying to, like, looking out the window occasionally, trying to see things, and then taps his foot and it's like, we can't see much in here. Should we go outside or closer to the building?
Might be a good idea.
No, don't waste the night,
still,
right?
Yeah, it's still dangerous. But as long as we stick together, then it should be fine.
Speaking of dangerous, and I pull out 2 of the vials that I made yesterday, and I give 1 to Max, and I give 1 to Renji. Or not yesterday, that I made today. And it's like, so this, as I was explaining to Ziden, should help with the poison stuff if they hit you. Or before they hit you.
Right.
It should help with it. I haven't had a chance to try it in a real-life application, but it should help.
Thanks.
Yeah, that's going to be very helpful. Yeah. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And then, if it's dangerous, Mara should probably wait here.
Okay.
And then, do we have a word in case one of us gets attacked?
I imagine screaming in agony would be enough, right?
Generally, I don't think any of us ignore the sound of screaming.
I can set off a bell if that's the case.
Okay. Quick interruption. I don't know if your stream is picking up sound, Artie. Because Avrdal just sent a message that said the backtrack for the stream is hella eerie by itself.
Oh, wow. Let's see.
One of those days.
Yeah, you're coming up on the desktop audio, like, peaking thing. But it's, yeah, I'm not sure how to explain it if it's not doing your audio as well.
Maybe turn
I'm asking.
Right. Thank you.
That fixes things.
Just gonna see if I can adjust the bit rate as well briefly, just to ensure everything goes okay. Admittedly, my bit rate has dropped rather dramatically. Right, this. That's weird. Okay. Wait, 104. Excuse me?
What?
Apparently my stream has a delay of 144 seconds.
Wow.
Seconds?
Yeah.
That's new.
I haven't changed it. Hold on, let me see if I can find the
I didn't
thing.
think it was possible to
That
go
is,
I set it as 20 by default, but it's, yeah, it's Duration, stream delay, duration. Oh, that might be because of That actually might be because of the disconnect, because it reconnected. OBS reconnected by itself.
Okay.
Okay.
So it's just adding the delay on top of what it already had, which is all right. Okay. Have they said that if things are coming up audio wise your end?
They can hear Alvarance, me, Keystreth.
Yay.
Okay.
Yay.
Cool.
Okay. Right.
Not sure about Row Pirate or Art.
Well,
Hello, I exist. Can you hear me?
Well, depending on the delay, you might receive a response in 2.5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
we'll
Great.
figure it out as we go.
Is
well,
anybody out there?
all four of us are coming from the same source, so it
Yeah.
should be getting all of us.
Yeah. And again, the audio is the visualizers are actively moving, so it's
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
okay.
Just wanted to make sure so that way
That's
we
fine.
didn't have another thing like that one day.
If all else fails, the podcast version of it is recording flawlessly, so it's fine.
Yay.
We will have at least one of the 3 versions available on the internet at some point after all this is said and done.
I
Magnificent.
already feel sorry for the editing you're going to have to do for this bit.
Yeah, it's fine. It's okay. I have the technical difficulties like little clip, like on lock. It's all good. Right.
So,
So we're going outside.
yeah.
Hmm.
Sneaky like.
Okay.
Sneaky beaky like.
So you open the door, and stepping outside, the brisk chill of the sea breeze at night hits your
Are we
skin.
planning on sneaking through the night?
I would be.
Okay, then in that case, Ziden shall cast Pass Without Trace upon our party.
Hooray!
Excellent.
I'm so glad you picked that spell.
Oh, he's a druid. He has all
Such a good
spells.
spell.
I've been picked it today.
Yeah.
With that, I could, if like possibly, get a 38 on stealth.
Yeah.
Power. But yes. So, you cast Pass Without Trace, and you'll slink out into the night. I want everybody to roll stealth rolls and add 10 to the result because of Pass Without Trace.
I got
34.
22.
I've got 29.
22, 20.
I have 35.
Okay.
34.
Okay. That's good. Yeah, with the aid of
Wait, I mean, I've got 21. It already adds my
Yeah.
bonus to it. Yeah.
Alright. Okay. So you all slink out into the night. I'm just going to very quickly see of all the ones who could possibly have a passive perception in this scenario. Yeah, that outstrips their passive perception utterly, so that's fine.
I would be worried if anything had a passive perception of 21.
Yeah.
But you sneak out.
Possible, but
You sneak out into the night silently, and as you do so, you move between whatever cover you can find. It's as you kind of leave the building and close the door quietly behind you, the fog is still quite thick and only allows you to see properly so far ahead of you. Where do you plan on going?
I was thinking to check the brass bells and Fairwind Trading Company to maybe figure out who the people are that are signing in as John Smiths.
Okay. That's fine.
Since John Smiths were at the Fairwind Trading Company, I would like to be at the window that the Goriah hopped into. I don't know how close that is to his actual office, though.
Okay.
Kind of pace between the two areas if I can see the office. I don't know if I can. He might have a light on, who knows?
Alright. Okay. So, I suppose, out of curiosity, which building do you want to go with first? The Fairwind Trading Company or the Brass Bell?
Considering we saw the names at Fairwind, that's the most suspicious right now.
Okay.
Correct.
Alright, so you sneak over to the Fairwind Trading Company building. Of course, as per the nature of the curfew, there is no guard posted outside. On the lower floor, of the lower floors of which you are able to see into, the window on the opposite side of the building from the one the Goriah supposedly broke into, there is no evidence of light being on in that room. The curtains are drawn. A similar story is actually at the window where the Goriah broke in. The difference here being that because it's been a suitable amount of time, that breakage in the glass has been boarded up with wood.
Alrighty then.
Is there anything else you want to look for? If so, I would like investigation rolls and to know what specific things you might be looking for.
I'd be looking for a way in that would make the littlest amount of noise.
Okay. Okay. Roll for investigation. That's an 8.
That's not very good.
That is not very good. As you kind of ponder around, you note that much like the other buildings, there is a side alley that you can go down, and there will be a garden and a balcony at the back. As you look up, you see that there is evidence of light being on in what you would assume to be Fairwind's office, if you remember the layout of the house. And then on the third floor, on the second floor, there appears to be a light on up there as well. However, as far as your investigations go, it appears that the windows down here, they might make a bunch of noise, especially the broken one, and wandering in through the front door, even if there is no light, might be suspicious. They might not have a guard posted outside the door, but they might have the guard just in the hallway. So it's, yeah, you can't seem to find anything that you think would be suitable.
Am I aware of the others around me?
I would assume you're aware of. You mean your companions? Then yes.
Yeah. In this case, I relay this information and say I wouldn't mind trying to break a window and try to get in, but that will most likely alert them of their presence.
Ziden will step forward and say, I could turn into a smaller form and sneak inside, open the door if it's safe.
That would work.
Okay, then. Would a rat be typical of this sort of area, or should I go smaller like a spider?
You would feel that it being a port town, rats are common, though you don't know how well taken care of this specific estate is, for it to be.
Did you just say it had broken windows?
It had a broken window from a break-in. But it's not like the whole place is disheveled and terrible and stuff. It's still a fairly well-to-do place, just with one broken window.
Okay, I see. So a rat would probably be noticed quite quickly. Let me see what a cat's stealth bonus is. Wait, what did I have? I had something which had a very good bonus.
It might have been the spider.
Spider gets +4. My base is +4 anyway. But a spider can go on like ceilings and stuff. So, well, giant skulltulas get +7 stealth.
But they're also huge.
They're so stealthy because no one wants to admit that they've seen it, because then they might look at them. Yeah, so Ziden will move over to somewhere convenient to slip in where there's enough of a crack, and turn into a spider and head on inside.
Okay. Conveniently, you find a crack. Like there is a small gap in the board that covers that broken window, and you sneak inside as a spider. It is still quite dark inside this place, but the room where apparently the theft had taken place, there is no lamp or torch or candle on in this room, and there is no one inside. Both normal exits to the room are closed. Closed.
Closed.
Yeah.
And so I'm looking for a appropriate way to let my compatriots in.
Okay. Make an investigation check.
Investigation. A natural 1.
Natural 1.
I probably shouldn't have made an investigation whilst as a spider.
It takes you a fair bit to cover the distance in the room, and unless you like kind of just like you step in, go into the middle of the room, like wait, hang on, and just like re-normalify. But yeah, you have a look around, and sadly the nature of the boards that you have, like your first instinct is to, now that you're on the inside, remove the boards from the broken glass and then allow them in that way. But they are, you look at them and you feel they're fairly nailed and secured fairly well, and it runs the risk of even opening and trying to open the window normally would be fairly loud, or at least that's the impression that you get. There are no other immediate entries into the room. The only other 2 doors in that room head further into the building. One that goes straight to the lobby, and another one that goes off to a room that you can't remember what is on the other side of that door. And then the only other wall in that room is basically a big flat wall covered in bookcases, so it's not exactly something that your friends can get through.
Ziden will move to look in the lobby, since I'll have a door outside, and see how populated it is.
Okay. Make a stealth check with your +10 still, since you've still got past that trace.
19.
All right. Kind of very quietly and cautiously.
That's assuming I don't get advantage for being an actual spider.
Nah, sadly not. You peer through. There is one lamp that is on, which kind of sits by the staircase, being held by this one guard who is just rather lackadaisically kind of looking around the room. He hasn't heard you, so he doesn't know where, if anywhere, to look, or even aware that there is anybody else in the building besides him and whoever else he knows is in the building. But he kind of glances over to the door, glances up the stairs, glances at each of the doors themselves, and then continues to just kind of like, it's clear that he had been given the night shift in this place has not been the most thrilling of opportunities that he would have asked for, but it's a living. So he's just kind of sitting and watching and waiting.
Were we aware of there being a sort of back door?
You know that if the layout of this building is the same as the, if the layout of the building is similar to the Zephyr's Favor, which from the outset it kind of does seem similar. You'd know that on the opposite side of the room from where you came in on, like the opposite side of the lobby, is another much longer room, and then around at the end of that room is a door that leads to a kitchen, which leads outside into the gardens.
Ziden will start the journey towards the kitchen.
Okay.
He will go, however, via the roof.
Okay. Very
Nobody ever
sneaky.
looks up.
No one ever looks up. So you scutter your way across the roof and down the other side and under the door through this long room, which appears to be half a series of desks for a workspace, and the other half appears to be a couple of dining tables from the looks of it. And then as you get to the opposite end and go under another door, you go into a kitchen, which does seem to have the lights still on, and there are 2 chefs that are currently working in there. One of them is a Lizzlefoss, who is just kind of very haphazardly moving things over. He's not exactly cooking so much as being put on potato peeling duty. And the other one appears to be a rather tall, rounded Hylian fellow with squared features, like a square jaw and everything like that. And he's diligently preparing something. You're not sure what, because by most standards this would be well after supper time. So you would assume breakfast, but it's prior to midnight, so he's got a head start on breakfast, definitely. But he's very much doing something. And behind him is the door to the gardens.
See, so...
While you're doing
Well,
that, what's everybody else up to?
I'm keeping an eye out in case the guys with the squid masks show up.
Okay.
I am taking advantage of my Wood Elf ability, Mask of the Wild, to be hidden in mist, but I am relatively close to the door in case these John Smiths show up.
Okay.
Meanwhile, I'm trying to keep an eye, or rather an ear out, in case of the squids or anything else. Yeah.
Okay. So, for the lot of you, I'd like you to make perception checks, please.
That's a 9.
9.
We're doing great today.
13.
A 20.
There we go.
Okay. Alright. So you sit and wait and watch, keeping an eye out for specific individuals. Keeping an eye on the fog, you don't see any changes or movements. You don't seem to see anything. Hikan, what you hear, you hear somewhere off in the distance is a crack, like the sound of splintering wood. It's quite a distance away, possibly, from your estimate, possibly closer to the docks.
I go back over towards Max and Renji. Still really sneaky like, so it's just kind of like a voice comes out from the mist. Guys, I think that there's another robbery in progress or something. There's another crack of splintering wood next to the docks.
Shit.
Looking over at Max, I say, do you want us to maybe split up?
I am not good at making decisions.
I can go take a look, because I can be pretty sneaky and stuff like this too. And I'm pretty quick, so I can run back if it's dangerous. Or shout bloody murder if need be.
I don't feel comfortable letting you go by yourself or letting anyone go by themselves. If Max stays here to check up on Ziden, then the two of us can check out the sound.
Okay.
Okay, sounds good. Let's go. And I stealth away.
Okay. You stealth away. Those stealthing away. Make stealth checks. 16 and 20, no, 35.
35.
Alright, don't worry about the nat 1 on your skill checks. Funnily enough, in 5e, you can't nat 1 a skill check. Or at least you don't have a critical auto fail from a nat 1.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a sadly low number.
Yay.
But yeah, so as you scurry along, you make your way down the path and turn to, or Hikan, you lead Renji to where you believe the source of the sound was. And as you go, let's see. Yeah, still enough. So as you go, you turn a corner, and then the both of you immediately duck behind a building. As you watch, as these blurry shapes in the mist, two of them, artfully and skillfully scurry down the street nearby. You then hear the sound of scraping metal on stone, and you see them sink into the ground before there is another scraping metal sound.
I want to get in as close as I possibly can.
Okay. So yeah, as close as you can to where they supposedly were. You look down, and you see a manhole cover leading to the sewers of Sarkosa.
That explains quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
As we're kind of investigating, I am keeping an eye out on the surroundings to see if there's any more people
Okay.
running around.
Make a perception check.
21.
21. You have a brief glance around. You don't believe you see any more people.
Well, hell. That's pretty clever, actually. But why is it always sewers?
Well, sewers, being naturally spacious, are an excellent way for people to traverse.
Okay. Alright. Well, unless we're gonna follow them through the sewers, and I don't want to do that without everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that there's anything else here right now. Except we
Fair
can see
enough.
if they broke into one of the ships, but that's about it.
I think it's best to get back to the others.
Okay.
We've discovered something new about the whereabouts, the operation.
Alright.
Okay.
And then we get back.
Meanwhile, Ziden.
Yes.
You were sneaking around in the kitchen as a spider. What's your plan of action?
Well, Ziden doesn't know that his allies have gone off, so his next action will be to try and head upstairs, find a window to open, and use some rope to let people in that way.
Okay. Okay, that's good. So you scurry back on upstairs, or heading upstairs. The layout of the building is fairly large. There's you can see that there are another set of stairs that head up another floor. However, from in this particular area, there are several doors that you can use. In fact, there are a grand total of 5 on this floor. One of which you know to be Fairwind's office, which does have light coming, like seeping through under the door, leading you to the impression that someone is in there. Do you use any of the rooms here, or do you head up another flight of stairs?
Ziden will sneak into the room with a light to spy on whoever's still up.
Okay. So you sneak under the door, and you see Fairwind, who's currently sitting at his desk, quietly and calmly writing something. He has his hat and wig on like a little prop thing nearby as he kind of sits and writes. He has, like, underneath his wig, he has this slicked black hair, but his facial hair at the very least is real. Either that, or he hasn't really been bothered to take that off. But he's just calmly writing, and as always, beside the door, sitting to attention, are his guard drakes, who, now that you've come towards the room, make a stealth check for me.
21.
21. Okay. I need to remember where the fuck I put things. There they are. 21.
This plus 10 past that trace is paying off so heavily.
It is paying off quite a bit. Yeah, they do not notice you. As you do your thing.
I am a tiny magic spider. No one will ever notice me. Can I crawl across the ceiling to peek at whatever he's working on?
Sure. You crawl across the ceiling. You look down to see the writing that he's doing. Let's see. What languages do you know?
Common, Sheikah, and Kokiri.
Ah. Yeah, it's not in a language that you can understand.
Would I be able to guess at what language it is?
Make a intelligence check.
A 9.
You don't seem to recognize any of the words or the syntax that it uses. And you've seen Draconic written down, and you've seen Zora written down and heard it spoken. But it doesn't seem to match those.
Well, for now...
At least I assume you've seen
whatever
Draconic written down with your time spent with Max and stuff, but I apologize if that was...
yeah.
I did show that thing to everyone before with the Draconic writing on it.
Does it look like... oh god, what's the word? Zoran?
No.
Okay.
I will say briefly, he has heard Hikan and Tyrina talk in Gerudo.
But has he
If
seen
that
it
helps.
written down?
No.
Oh,
Seems unlikely.
Hikan doesn't write.
Unless, she had any, like, emboldened on her equipment.
With the 9 intelligence check you got, sadly, if she did, you don't seem to remember.
That's fine. Given the fact that this seems to be an important document, otherwise why the hell would you be working on it this late at night? Ziden will very specifically remember the shape, size, etc. of the book so that he can later use locate object and directly find it.
Okay.
And say, hey, monk, do you want to get this book for us? Admittedly, if I just pick it up and turn into a spider again, it's mine. Because shapeshifting.
That's true. But you may be there for a while. You don't know how long he's going to be sitting there writing this thing. But yeah, it's something that you can do.
I think I could be here for 3 hours. So.
You could be.
But
Alright.
I think I better, let my ally in, so I'll go back to the previous.
It's so cold out here.
Finding an empty room where I can open the window to roll out the rope,
Okay.
which will mean turning back to human once securely in an empty safe room.
Alright. Okay. So as you do your searching, I'd say, considering the size of said spider and the size of the building, what is the speed of a spider, just out of curiosity?
Spider speed. Beast forms. Spider. 20 foot.
Wow, that's quick.
How else do you think spiders constantly disappear from view the moment you don't look at them?
Oh, you're one of those
I thought
spiders. Ugh.
I thought they just went to another dimension.
Yeah.
They move between the shadows.
That'd be my worst nightmare if phase spiders actually became real. Ugh.
They're all way of the shadows, monks.
That's exactly what Ziden's doing now. He just never talks about it with anyone. It's like, that's how spiders move, don't you know?
But yeah, so you continue your search for an empty room. As you search on this floor, your options are the room on the opposite side of the building from Fairwind, like not the exact opposite, but the opposite side on the front of the building, and 2 of the rooms at the back that overlook the garden.
Where did I leave Max and them?
We were near the front door.
Alright, guess I'll go
To the front, in the side alley.
I will go to the room most close to where I left them.
Okay.
So front, I guess.
Uh-huh. Yep, and you peer outside. It's still a fair bit of fog. You think you can barely make out the silhouette of Max in the fog.
Okay, Ziden will check that this window looks like it's a type that opens before he turns human.
Okay. You find a latch and you find hinges. It does appear to be a window that opens.
Okay, he will turn human and very carefully open the window.
Okay. As you are in the process of doing that, that is when Ziden and... not Ziden, Max... no, not Max, fuck! Renji and Hikan...
Literally
That's
the only
awesome.
2 people.
The only 2 people who didn't go. Yeah, you, Renji and Hikan return.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We relay what's happened to Max. Ask if anything had happened.
This window just opened.
So it has.
How's that
And a
open?
hemp rope will slowly coil out of said window.
Okay.
Hempen rope? I only climb silken rope, thank you very much.
Well then, put your pons gloves on. Stop being such a tit.
Now, Renji is going to climb without griping.
Oh dear. Okay. Climb without griping. I am wondering if... ordinarily I'd say rope is fine, and you climb without a problem. But it is extraneous circumstances you're attempting to do it sneakily in the dead of night, while at least 2 people you know, or 2 people that you're aware of, are awake and potentially alert. So, I will need athletics checks, please.
Oof.
How acrobatics?
Is it possible with acrobatics?
Now I'm
could-
imagining Reggie Circus laying his way up there.
Just wrapping around his legs, slowly coiling up and around.
Mm-hmm.
I could be.
So that's how people who have money climb ropes.
I could be convinced for it to be an acrobatics check instead.
Renji has seen his father climbing stuff, and in the times where he isn't trying to be particularly stealthy,
Yeah.
and that has always had this particular grace to him. And I mean, you've seen the Yiga clan cartwheeling and stuff.
Yeah.
That's kind of how Renji has seen his father move.
Okay.
Sheikah don't make athletics checks if they have, unless they absolutely have to.
Yeah. Okay. So, athletics or acrobatics, please.
Thank you. Still only got a +2 to that. 16.
Okay. Okay, so you very cautiously and calmly clamber up the rope, and Ziden pulls you in to get you into the room quietly. You are now inside the Fairwind Train Company building. Who's next?
I volunteer, Max.
Yeah, fine. I can't. I can't finagle this to be an acrobatics, so. It's a
So
9.
in regard, I was gonna say, so in regards to this, since it's doing that, I get Max up as high as possible, doing the similar boost thing with it before I have to let them go off the rope.
Okay.
But it's still only an 11 if that gives them advantage.
It's at least double figures.
It's at least double figures. So yeah, I will count that as advantage because you are helping him.
Thank you.
And Max, you clamber up, you get up to that point where Hikan can no longer support you. You've still got a good few feet to go before you're at least within range of Ziden and Renji, who could help pull you up. You put one hand over the other and pull, put another hand over the other, and you lose grip slightly, and you slide back down. I'd like you to make a reflexive stealth check, still with pass without trace, to be unheard.
So 24.
Okay. With 24, you kind of you grip tighter. You clench your legs together to get more grip on the rope. And you stop. You pause for a moment to make sure nothing else is happening.
Okay, this is hempen rope. How are my hands?
Hurts.
Yeah.
It really hurts. Oh man, it is.
That's a bit more than Charlie bit my finger.
But yes, but you've managed to stop your descent, and it appears that no one has noticed. So, would you like to make another athletics check to retry?
Gonna have to.
It's a
Fucking 10.
That is a 10.
Can I use that to just decide that I give up and climb back down?
Yes, you may.
It's like, I'll keep watch.
Okay.
Well,
I said to Hikan, so
Yeah.
you got now.
I have another idea. And before I head up, I tie a slip knot. It's about Max's foot size.
Okay.
And it's like, okay, so I'm gonna get up there, and then you just stand there, and we'll pull you up. And then I climb up the rope.
Okay. So, acrobatics or athletics, please.
I want to use athletics, but I can't justify not like if I have the option to do a +8, so we'll go with a natural 1.
Oh no.
Ouch. But we help him, like, we help pull him up. Does it give advantage?
I do the boost thing, but my hands are kind of in pain.
Well, then you do the boosting with your shoulders.
Yeah. Do you want to jump off my shoulder?
Okay. Yeah. So you use max for a boost. You get your 25 as you kind of using that foothold skillfully maneuver up the rope. Like you do
Thank you, oh kind and generous God.
You do that thing like I like to imagine that you do that speed climbing thing at the beginning of Princess Bride, where he's just moving like really quickly in one fluid movement.
Pretty much.
But yeah. Speaking of, don't climb a rope like that. Use your feet. It will make it significantly easier. But anyway, you manage to slide up the rope, clamber into the room, and that just leaves the three of you with appropriate athletics checks, and it has to be athletics considering the method of it, to pull Max into the room. And it's going to be low DC because there's three of you.
Cool. I will start since I have a +4 with an 8.
We're doing so well, you guys.
Oh boy.
Ziden will use his +0 for an 8.
And Renji will use his +0 for 15.
I'm surprised.
I mean, I could just stay out here and keep watch.
I can't use guidance. That would cancel that pass of that trace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Shit. Once again, it's going to be one of those days. So
Well, I haven't done too well yet today.
So Renji, you kind of you brace yourself. You begin to pull, as do Ziden and Hikan. Sadly, Hikan and Ziden, your grip on the rope isn't as secure as you thought it would be, and you too suffer unfortunate hand damage. Not
my hands.
Yeah.
So Ziden wears gloves. Of course he does. He's a woodsman.
Oh yes.
I like to think that my hands are kind of calloused.
But in any case, it does, like, you feel like Max, as you kind of just stand at the ready, you feel yourself being lifted off the ground, but progress is very slow. Did you want to give it another shot?
9, 11.
11. Okay. I was meaning the three doing the pulling, but
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I mean, sure. 11.
It's better.
14.
It's better.
15.
It's the same. Yeah.
At least none of them were worse.
Yeah, that's
Next
true.
time, Ziden's he's going to get like a little roll-out ladder instead.
You're just going to find a rod of lordly might and only use the ladder
I also
function.
cast Mage Hand to make things like 20 pounds lighter.
But yeah, so with those rolls, and
Mage Hand.
And Mage Hand, you do manage to pull Max up into the room the rest of the way.
Yay. So, not climbing a rope again if I can help it.
Yeah, good idea. Man, that burns.
And Hikan's just like slow, like first, given the room that we're in, I look around. Is that a bedroom?
It is not a bedroom. It is another office.
Okay, thank God. Okay.
So Ziden will get everyone's attention. He will then tap on the circlet of telepathy on his head and will relate them silently through telepathy to each one the people that he's seen, where they are and what they're up to.
Okay. So you all now know that there is a guard on the stairs leading down to the lobby, and you know that Richard Fairwind is currently in his office still writing something. His guard drakes are with him.
And there's some chefs.
And there's some chefs in the kitchen.
They are the most suspicious, obviously.
Yeah, kind of suspicious. I forgot what time it actually even is at this point.
It's getting close to 11 by this point.
I look over at Ziden. Do you have a plan? I try to ask as quietly as possible.
I mean, you can just reply through telepathy.
Really?
Yeah.
It's 1-to-1, but it is. You can reply.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I raise my hand, and I when that happens, I ask, what's the plan? What do you think we should do?
Given we have the opportunity now to look through more of their files, I thought that would be appropriate. I saw that Fairwind was doing something in a script. I have no recognition of its style. Ziden will.
With telepathy, share concepts?
I don't think so. I was going to say Ziden will just pull out a piece of paper and sketch a couple of the letters he saw.
Okay. That's perfectly fair. It is still fresh in your mind. What languages does everybody speak again?
Common, Sheikah, Twilight, Zoran.
Common, Goron, Blinn, Draconic.
Common, Sheikah, and Gerudo.
It is none of those languages.
So whatever he's working on there sounds highly suspicious.
So my response is shrug.
Wait, Netherlad, doesn't Renji also speak Thieves' Cant?
Yes.
Ooh, I also speak Druidic then.
It is neither of those languages.
But Thieves' Cant has symbols, but not so much a written language.
Can the rest of us make rolls to see if we recognize the symbols?
Sure. Make intelligence rolls, please.
I do not.
19.
20.
19, 20. Both of you recall, while studying books that may have been within the possession of Lord Simeon, that the actual, or the script that he has there appears to be some approximation of Celestial.
Oh.
We have got to see what's on that book.
But we can't read it.
Mara might.
Oh. Fine.
My suggestion would be to potentially wait for him to go to bed, locate said book again, make a copy of what's listed, and then go try and translate it.
Good idea. How about the god drakes? What about them?
I assume they sleep too at some point.
Make a nature roll.
A nature roll?
Yes, please.
20.
20.
It's a nature roll, 20.
Yeah.
Well, the other dice was.
Anyway,
It's a roll of 20, so a nature roll 20.
from what you understand of guard animals like these drakes in particular, they do sleep, but it's kind of a light sleeper sort of highly alert state sort of thing. Or at least you assume that they'd be trained to be in that sort of state. However, you also figure that, you remembering from Fairwind's office, he doesn't have a bed in there, so it's not like and it seems that the drakes themselves remain close to their master, so chances are if he leaves the room they will follow him.
So unless we can possibly look around what's in this office, we can try looking in any of the other rooms or upstairs. Potentially, if he lives in this building, we can this would be the best time to search his room.
Good thinking.
Who's the sneakiest of us?
I am rather sneaky.
You can be charged with his room.
Rather than sneaky.
I can sneak as well.
I don't think we should all go to his room. That seems a bit excessive.
Yeah,
Bit much. I can also turn myself invisible.
that's the most sneaky.
I think we should send you and Hikan upstairs. Especially because if something does go wrong, I imagine Hikan can find a window to jump out, and you can go invisible.
Or Misty Step.
Or that.
Also.
Whereas myself, well, I can just turn back into a spider. Max is the one who'll have the hardest time.
I will blow things up and cause a distraction.
That's what we're trying to avoid, I think, right now.
It'll be very distracting! No, I'll just cast Fog Cloud, it's fine.
Just fog cloud inside a building.
Smoke bomb!
If we're gonna take a look around, Renji, I think that you should go first, and then I'll give you like a 10-second head start. So that way, if I make noise, it's easier for you to keep going, and I can run, and Max can also be distractions.
So before all that, shall we look around this room at all?
Good idea.
Okay. Make investigation checks.
Who wants advantage?
I would
Not
like
me.
advantage.
I don't think
Never
you can
mind.
improve by 9.
Not necessary. That's a 20.
Okay. You have a look around quietly and pick apart everything. As you do, Renji, you find a box, like a small card box, which contains piles of documents, each of them containing correspondence between different trading positions and everything like that. It's basically like a series of business letters that are addressed to the Fairwind Company. As you go through them, you don't seem to find one in regards to a you don't seem to find one in regards to a thing from the Brinner. You don't seem to find one from an associate from the Brinner, at least not one that's been dated within the last month.
So it doesn't seem to be any correspondence from the Brinner recently. And Lord Fairwind mentioned that he was going to the Brinner on urgent business.
Yes.
I relay this to Ziden, who can relay this to the rest.
Relay station, go.
Okay.
Radio Ziden.
So, what does the last thing from them say?
Let's see.
The last thing from them, which was dated a month and a half ago, states that it's basically just we would like to send this correspondence in addition to a report to ensure that we are all fully aware of items of trade and monetary value between our two companies as per usual. It's like a quarterly report almost. Like we have traded this. Our records say we've traded this. We're sending it to you so that you can also correspond to say that we have traded this, just to make sure all our records are proper.
This is paperwork.
It is paperwork.
It is very much paperwork. So besides that, there doesn't seem to be any indication of correspondence within the last month and a half that would indicate a urgent meeting to set out from the city. So either there's no meeting and we've been lied to about that, or there is going to be a meeting, or more probably Lord Fairwind wants to leave the city in the current climate and hides behind a so-called urgent meeting instead of just like everyone knowing that he is fleeing.
Hmm. It is a little suspicious.
As you
I wouldn't say a little.
as you discuss this, you hear a tuk-tuk as a door within the building opens, and then a brief period afterwards, you hear it close again.
Did it sound like it was on our floor?
It certainly did so.
So Fairwind's left his office. Is there a keyhole we can peek out to see where he's going?
Yes.
What can my eyes see?
As you kind of peer through, you see on the opposite side of the landing, you see Fairwind with his guard drakes leave the room. He has his wig and hat under one arm, and he continues onwards. He then heads up a flight of stairs to the upper floors.
Just to check, he didn't look like he was carrying the book I saw him reading, right?
No.
I will wait a little bit longer to let him get upstairs and listen very intently out for the sound of him going in through another door before nodding at the others, saying we should go to his office now.
Okay. Listen. You think you hear floorboards creaking above you, or at least on the upper floor, to get to a point where they kind of, like, it seems like they would be in a room. You don't hear a door open and close. It might be that he's being quiet to be courteous to the other people in the building. But yeah, you can tell from the creaks on the floorboards that he is not anywhere near the stairs anymore.
Time to move?
Time to move.
Okay. I head to the study, then
Okay.
his office.
Everybody make stealth. Or is it just you going, or?
At least me going.
To go.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do wish to leave the room. I'm not going into the office. I'm going to stick near the stairwell to keep an eye on the guard and keep an eye on Fairwind or anyone else moving.
Right.
Okay, so that's the lowest is a 20.
Okay.
Imagine how badly we'd be doing without the passive.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oof.
Love this spell.
It's a good spell.
You sneak on through. You maneuver around the landing. You slowly move past. The guard still at the bottom of the stairs, keeping his eye primarily on the front door. But as you sneak past, those of you who need to head into the office do so. The light is now off in that room, and those who stick by stay, like, I guess you kind of just plaster yourself against the wall to be as much out of sight from the guard as possible.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So you, those of you who are in the office, you don't see the book on his desk anymore. Make an investigation check to see if you can find it.
Is there anyone I can help with? Because my investigation is not the greatest.
Do you have more than a +0?
I have more than a +0.
Then I'm helping you.
Okay. That's a 15.
That's a 15
instead of a natural 1.
Instead of the 3.
Ziden got a 22.
Okay.
Probably because he can actually go, oh yeah, it's that book.
Yeah. So yeah, you maneuver through the room. You do the usual kind of moving things around just to see if he's put it under a pile of anything at all. In one of the drawers in the desk, you find what appears to be not so much a book, but more of a clipboard with a piece of parchment on it that does appear to have the text in that indecipherable language that you now know to be Celestial. it is a fairly long-winded thing, covering around about 4 pages in length. But it appears to be the document that you are looking for.
So Ziden will nod at Renji to use the telepathy as well, say just look around the rest of the room, and he will take a seat and start transcribing this.
Okay.
I then, with Max's help, look for anything else that we may see, may figure out, may have missed, that might offer any insight as to the dealings of this trading company.
Okay. So while Ziden does that, with your 15, I'll say, to have a look around, you primarily find a series of you find a series of reports and audits that dictate exactly what this company is trading in. It is mainly, well, it is pretty much anything that they can get their hands on, which does include magical things. But it's much wider variety of items. They seem to have a great number of trading partners, both within the Kingdom of Hyrule and outside of it. You do note that they do seem to be trading with some of the villages in the south of where you are, but in the west of the kingdom. These, if on the maps here you have these villages over here, you know these villages to be the villages that are still actively fighting the civil war. You have the loyalist village of King's Ward, Avrdal village, which is kind of its own independent thing, the uprising focused Vestal village, and Midos, which is basically just trying to protect itself, at least from what you understand from political factions. Fairwind's trading company seems to trade with all 4 of them on equal terms.
You say this as if it's surprising.
That would give me the sense that either they are trying to, in the best case scenario, they are trying to be neutral in the conflict and are trying to just trade as trade. Worst case scenario, they are actively supplying both parties in order to continue the tensions.
War profiteering.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is essentially what you find. It takes Ziden a little bit of time to try. Are you going for primarily the whole document, or just a page, or?
Transcribe everything. Ziden has a background of writing lots of stuff, so he's used to writing.
It takes about half an hour for you to do that. At least trying to do it in a sense that to get all the details down as possible, but you do manage to eventually get the whole thing down. As that time goes on, those of you out on the balcony or out on the landing outside the office, you hear from down on the stairs, someone or the guard seems to stand up. You hear the clatter of his breastplate and everything, and he turns and begins to slowly traipse up the stairs.
Ziden and I are currently in the office. Max is as well, because Max, he's helping me.
So it's just Hikan. Hikan,
I
what
see.
do you do?
He's muted, so I
The
don't know
player
what's there.
playing
I'm
Hikan is
muted.
currently muted.
My bad.
That's all right.
I will quietly, but somewhat urgently, kind of do the lightly on your feet half run kind of thing.
Yeah.
over to the office.
Mhm.
Assuming that the office is away from the other part of the staircase.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna put the hood of the cloak of protection up.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna wait. If he heads towards the office, then I'm going to hop over the railing and make as much noise as I can.
Okay. Let's see. So you put the hood up, you maneuver yourself in an advantageous position, and you wait. You see the guard clunk, 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 clunk come up the stairs, gets to the top of the landing. He turns to move across the landing, but not immediately in your direction. You'd have to turn a corner to get to you, or like to turn to see you. But he walks on, stretches and yawns, and then moves past the section of the landing that he would need to turn down to get to the office, and seems to be heading up the stairs to the next floor.
Hikan slowly lets out a breath he didn't know he was holding.
Okay. But yeah, successfully though, you have managed to acquire a copy of the mysterious document that Fairwind had been writing down.
So Ziden will look up to Renji and ask if he thinks there's anything further we should be looking for, or if we should get out whilst it's still going good.
I am still curious about. Well, Ziden mentioned like the wig, didn't he?
Well,
yes.
Yeah.
He's curious about that, but like he knows people from court who are attempting to appear one way whilst being another.
Wait, that's not his real hair?
No.
Oh.
While they're deciding what to do next, Hikan has an idea. And I take some of the paper and some of the ink that I bought from Sebastian, and I write out in Sheikah, heading downstairs to check for trapdoors.
Okay.
And slide it underneath the office door.
Okay.
And then I sneak downstairs.
Okay. So the rest of you see this note get slid under the door.
I pick it up.
While Hikan, you maneuver downstairs into the lobby. Are you actively checking for traps and trapdoors and whatnot?
Specifically trapdoors. I'm not looking for traps or anything like that.
Oh, I get you. Yeah. Okay. That would require an investigation check, please.
Oh boy! A 6.
6. You don't appear to find any trapdoors.
Okay. I will head quietly back up the stairs and wait for the party then.
Okay. Right. So what do the rest of you do? Do you remain in the building?
I would like to get out, basically, whilst there is more to investigate. It might be best to get out, get this document translated as soon as possible, and maybe if it contains anything, there's a word for it.
We also still
Follow.
need to check out the underground stuff.
So let's get out of here then.
Okay. So yeah, easily enough you manage to sneak back out of the building. You close windows and doors and everything on the way through. It's almost as if you were never there.
Just to make sure Hikan will be the last one out, he'll crawl out, hold on to the landing of the window, close the window with his foot, and then just let go.
Okay.
Ziden will just kind of glance at Renji, going, I'm just going to think about his mage hand, just like, okay.
It's whatever.
Yeah. All right.
Let him do his thing.
So you have exited the Fairwind Trading Company building. It is still foggy out. It is around about midnight at this point.
I tell the others, because, Ziden didn't know about the sewers yet, so I tell him.
Ziden will nod.
Hikan leads everyone to the Zephyr's favor, since we want to get that thing translated first, if we can.
Okay.
Okay. So you return to the Zephyr's favor. You slide back into the building. Mara looks up from her book and says, "Oh, okay. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Anything?
We found some things. Do you read Celestial by any means?
Celestial? I don't think so. Not fluently, at least. I know a couple of words, but not like I can't speak it. I'm not even sure if anybody outside of a high priest would be able to do that stuff.
Well, if you can translate what you can, Ziden will produce the document.
Okay. Oh, okay. And she looks at the 4 pages of documents. Like, this is going.
We've got stuff to do, so.
Okay. I will do my best. And she opens up her book and takes out a couple of writing tools and everything like that, and begins to pore over the document as best she can. But yeah, as she says, she's going to take a very long time.
You could probably check out that server thing in the meantime.
Okay. Do we want to go where we saw them slide into the sewers, or did we want to walk towards the direction where we think they went and use the find object magic thing?
I am in favor of kicking up some dust there. I would prefer not to go into the sewers unless absolutely necessary.
Okay.
Well, if we use the find object thing and they are underground, we could probably find a closer entrance with it.
Okay. Alright. So, you sneak back out.
Did we keep the mask?
Yeah. You still
Okay.
have it.
Cool.
And that one
next-
is unique because it has a burn mark on it.
Right, but it might throw people for a loop.
It won't throw the spell for a loop because it's unique and it has a burn mark on it. You're looking for ones without the burn mark.
Oh, I was gonna put it on.
Oh,
Wear it.
okay. Yeah, you can wear it.
Guys.
Yay. So the con's wearing a squid mask now.
It smells awful.
Okay then.
Alright. So you head.
Do you want someone to unsmell the mask?
If you wouldn't mind.
I will unsmell the mask.
I will make it smell like lavender.
You de-smell it and then make it smell like lavender afterwards. So you sneak back out into the foggy night, heading back to where you encountered those individuals who had slunk into the sewer. and you find the manhole cover still there, untouched. So is your what is your plan? Is it to use locate object?
To cast locate object, searching for more squid masks, specifically non-birds, non-squid masks. Like,
yeah.
Yes.
You find a couple of them. They are indeed. They are a little ways further inland, and they are down. So they are definitely underground.
So Ziden will point in the direction that he's got now. Everyone else can see where he's aiming at.
Head in that direction.
Okay.
And I will be keeping an eye out for other manhole covers.
You walk for a few more minutes before eventually you find yourself standing next to what could only be standing next to another manhole cover, which you believe to be the closest one to this group of signatures. Yeah, it's the closest one you can find by comparison.
Okay. Somebody want to give me a hand moving it real quick?
I can, but I'm not really
I said I'll help.
strong.
Okay. Cool. That's a 21 then.
21 athletics. You and it's once again sound of metal scraping upon the stone, and you stare down into the darkness below. There is a ladder that will allow you to clamber down into the sewers.
Who wants to go first? Because I gotta put the whole cover back.
I'll go.
I'll go second.
Okay. So it is you clamber down, and we need to bring you over.
This is so much easier to climb a rope.
Yep.
I've got a note on my thing to buy a rollout ladder.
There you go.
I'll
Let's
share
see
the
if
map.
there's one at the general store.
There we go.
Oh god, I see blood.
Dark vision is really dim.
I like it. It's kind of eerie.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Arc 2. Sarcosulas. All right. So you clamber down into the sewers. It is not a pleasant smell, as you would expect. Primarily, primarily the stench of general refuse, but also the scent of rot and things that are damp by way of salt water. It's also not incredibly easy to breathe down here. You can do so. You just note that it's like breathing in is just breathing in the air down here is just unpleasant. But you find yourself in this small area, this small pool junction. In the water, you see a barrel, and smeared up the side of this, smeared up the side here appears to be, it appears to be a pool of blood.
Quick note, is the mist thick down here as well?
Well, yes and no. Like it's weird. Like peering down the south corridor down here, it appears that there is a bit of a mist to it, but it's not as thick as it is upstairs, like on the surface.
Good to know. Which way, Ziden?
Which way is it?
Oh, the mist.
The mask.
Pings.
Oh, the mask. Oh, the mask pings. All right. There are multiple There is 1 to the north, 2 to the south. Actually, hold on. Let me recalculate that. 5 to the south. No, 4.
1 north, 5
Sorry,
south.
I have a degree in maths and I can't maths. There are 4 to the south, 1 to the north, 5 in total.
Okay.
Right.
So Ziden will let the party know that and go on the assumption we probably want to deal with the one north first.
Good idea.
Lead the way.
Do, do, do.
Is this an easy jump?
With the appropriate roll, it can be.
That's why I was asking if it's an easy jump.
Hikan going the other way around.
Isn't jumping not based on rolls?
It's yeah, it's not based on rolls. It's based on your strength stat.
There's a thing there.
I can jump 10 feet, 11 feet.
Hikan waves at the other two.
Okay, Ziden will activate his ring of jump.
Renji will take a bit of a running jump and poof.
Could just go. Right, never mind.
Just go around the south there.
There's this thing this way. Looks like a box. It's red.
Wait,
Or
a
you
box?
guys just ignore me. That's fine.
Yeah, as you Hikan and Max, as you go around the long way, you find a wooden chest with gold trim that sits in this little alcove.
Who's good at checking for traps?
Not it.
I can try.
Why did you want one? Hikan pulls out a bear trap.
Can I assist?
Sure. That'd be a thieves' tools check or a sleight of hand check.
Oh, those shit.
A thieves' tools check is
Based
I
on
have
dex.
proficiency on that.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't have that in my
I do.
skill list. So d20 plus dexterity plus 3.
Mhm. 9.
That's 9.
Okay.
I'm assisting. You have advantage.
Oh, in that case. 19.
19. Okay. So, using what you have, you sit down and you begin work on the lock on this box. And after a brief few moments, you hear as it appears the tumblers have been moved out of place and the box is now unlocked. And checking it over, you note that there are no traps on it. It seems to be a very simple box. Opening it up, you note a slight hint of disappointment as it appears to be empty.
It appears to be empty.
Check for any hollow bottom.
Yeah, I want to check for specifically. I want to check for any false bottoms or hidden compartments.
Okay, make an investigation roll for me, please.
Okay, hold on. Investigation 12.
Okay, investigation. That provides you with. You check over the box. You do what needs to be done to make sure that you can find any hidden compartments or false bottoms, or if any of the items inside are invisible or anything like that. No, it just appears to be an empty box.
Just to check, the box itself, does it look valuable?
It looks fairly nice, albeit a bit damp and dusty. It must have been down here for a fair bit.
Can it fit in a bag of holding or a handy haversack?
It would be a bit of a strain, but yes. However,
I'd say deal with this on the way out.
you all have fairly high passive perceptions.
Yes.
Yes.
You hear the sound of footsteps and chatter coming from this hallway.
back around the corner.
I step closer to the wall.
So hide. Can I hide in sort of the same space as the chest?
Yeah, that's fine.
Stand on it.
I am
Since
extra
I'm wearing
tall
the
now.
mask, I will stand there.
I'll just tap my hood low and
So
turn to the side.
as you kind of move around, you see a light coming from down that corridor, and you hear one of the chatters like, "I don't know how we get paid for this job," and another voice goes, "Well, yes, but we do get paid for it in a sense, I think, maybe," and says, "Well, yeah, but why do we have to go down the bloody sewers every bloody day? And it's just not, it's not on, mate. They stop at about this corner, and one of them says, "Look, we're being paid to come down here and get something out of a box every day. Somehow there's stuff in it. I don't ask questions. No, don't ask questions. But why here? There's far better smelling secret alcoves than here." And the other one is, "Well, yes, but it's still a lot of money." It's like, "I know it's a lot of money. Just come on, let's just see if there's anything new in there, and we'll come back and we'll pass it on as per you." And
Before this, we hear that they are talking about a box.
Yep.
And heading this way.
Yep.
I want to try and scurry over here.
Okay, make a stealth roll.
18.
Nice. You scurry on over, you maneuver past and silently scurry on over to that wall and out of sight.
And I brandish my shield and the roll of the Pact Keeper.
Okay. Are the rest of you doing anything?
Bracing.
Okay.
At the very least, Ziden will try and pull Max to be back in this corner so he can step forward.
No.
No?
No.
Okay. I guess I know what's coming then.
I am ready in action for a judo chop.
Okay.
I will take the opportunity to cast Shillelagh upon my stuff.
So as you wait and prepare, around the corner appears to be one gruff man in fairly heavy leather armor, and he seems to be followed by another person. They turn the corner to head to the box. At which point, the one guy has a sunrod, as opposed to a traditional torch, and he looks stops as he sees three strangers crowding around the box, and
When this happens, I run across the bridge, and I want to cast. Let's see. I want to cast. My Hexblade's Curse on the first guy.
Okay. As you run across the bridge, you cast your Hexblade Curse on the first guy. So this guy. So put that symbol there. Let's see. How much time do we have? We've been going for 2 hours. I think we can have time for one quick combat encounter. It's only 2 guys. So
it has been a while since we've done a combat.
Yeah,
that's true.
It has been a while.
And as I do that, I say, no, I don't say anything yet.
All right. Okay. So in the meantime, everybody, roll initiative, please.
22. Nice.
17.
Okay.
Very
17.
Nice, guys.
Let's see. Humanoid.
0.02.
Thuggery. Bandit and the bandit. Yes.
I just noticed that Renji's got a dex of 2, Max has a dex of 3, Ziden's got a dex of 4, and I have a dex of 5.
We can never tie.
Yay.
Okay, so first up.
Of course, now our numbers have to stay like that forever.
5 and 21.
Oof.
Okay. So, initiative order is Ziden, then Hikan, then the guy at the back, then Max, then Renji, then the guy at the front. So, proceed.
I can't remember whether or not staff has reach on it.
It
It does
doesn't.
not.
Okay. Most obvious option then is to switch to my bow and shoot the guy.
Okay.
Bandit Captain. Yes, Bandit Captain.
Yeah.
For a 17 to hit for 11 piercing damage.
Okay. 11 piercing damage has been dealt as the arrow sinks into his shoulder and his surprise is replaced with frustration and pain. There we go.
And that will be all for now.
Okay.
Yes.
Hikan. There you go.
Alright. So, Hikan makes vague Cthulhu noises because I'm wearing the mask. And then I'm just gonna do 3 attacks against Bandit Captain here. All non-lethal, just regular extra attack and bonus action 1 strike.
Alright.
So 24 for 11, 12, and 19 for 8.
Okay. So the 12 does not hit, but the others do hit. As you kind of... like he's kind of stumbling in a sense of like like he's trying to push you away with your tentacle mask and everything like that. He's not having a good time. But yeah. Oh dear. All right. So I guess that's action, bonus action, move. So I'm guessing that's you done.
Yeah.
The guy at the back is going to draw his light crossbow, swiftly load the bolt, and fire it at Renji. Because he's
Not fun.
The 22 hits you.
22 does hit.
That's 7 piercing damage as you are struck with a light crossbow bolt.
Ow.
And he's then going to retreat slightly up to here. Max, it's your go.
While Mr. Bandit Captain is trying to push Khan away, there's very suddenly going to be a very sparky, crackly fist coming around the corner and punch him in the face.
Nice. Zap.
Only a 12.
Ah, dang. He sees he catches a sparkly just in time for him to kind of slide back and like just hold onto the wall with the free hand as you swing and miss sadly with your shocking grasp attack.
I need more things I can do with a bonus action. Don't really have anything useful right now.
Okay. There is there anything else you want to do on your turn?
No.
Okay.
Mr. Bandit Captain's in the way, so...
Renji.
Yes, I will move over here.
Okay.
And how shallow is like the water here?
You gather it's probably about 2 foot deep. And calling
Okay,
it
so-
water at this point would be charitable.
Yeah, it's charitable. In that case, I want to kind of make a jump over there.
Okay.
And summoning my Twilight Rapier, I'm going to attack twice.
Okay.
That's a 10 or an 11 to hit.
Oh, you're attacking the bandit captain. Yes, sadly
Bandit
not a hit.
captain. Yes. That's not a hit. Okay. Second attack is a 21.
Okay, that is a hit.
And that is 8 plus 1 sneaky.
Nice.
Do you get anything from your curse as well?
Hmm?
Do you get anything from the
Hexblade's
curse?
curse.
I get a bonus to damage rolls, so that is in total 12 points of damage.
Okay.
And is that a... No, that's a 13 to hit. No. To roll. So that's that.
Okay. So our bandit captain friend is not having a good time. He takes out his scimitar, and he's going to utilize.
Oh wait! Oh, I wanted to have advantage on a thing for a reason because I have Sheikah accuracy,
Okay.
and whenever I roll with dexterity, intelligence, wisdom, or charisma on an attack where I have advantage, I can re-roll one of the dice once.
Okay.
So instead of having my first attack miss, it is roll a d20 plus 8, I believe. Yes, d20 plus 8 to see if I actually do hit on that first attack. That's a 19.
Okay.
And with Hexblade's Curse, that is a critical hit.
Okay. But you've already used your sneak
so
attack on the other attack.
I've
say.
used sneak attack on the other attack.
Yeah.
That is fair.
Can I get an extra damage die?
So I get an extra damage die, which is a d8. 2 extra points of damage is 8
Eight.
points of damage on that attack.
Okay. Alright. Okay. He's hurt. He's very hurt, but he's still up.
Okay.
So he's going to draw his sword.
That's-
And
That's not.
Hmm?
A sword is a piece of grass.
Fine.
You've already made this joke before.
Okay, so
It's
how
not a joke, it's an actual thing.
I know, but you've already done it. So-
Okay.
he's going to, as you're always going to do, he's not only going to drop his sword, he's going to drop the sun rod at the floor. He's going to draw his sword and a dagger. And he's going to basically unload hell if he can. So
the bandit captain also had a sunrod.
I thought, okay, yeah. Honestly, I thought the only one who had when I was describing it, I thought the only one who had it was the bandit captain. But
Okay.
The
Yeah.
other guy has light.
I was thinking Hikan would be slightly safer because he's in the dark now.
I'm fine with it.
All right. So first one, he's going to swing his scimitar at Hikan. 8 doesn't hit. Then he's going to wheel back around to try and see if he can hit Renji. Does a 19
Nope.
hit your AC? No?
It does not.
Okay. Then he's going to try and stab behind him with the dagger back at Hikan. And 8 doesn't hit. Okay.
Nope.
He's not having a good day, this bandit captain. Ziden.
Hikan was protected by the darkness.
Darkness is his friend.
Ziden will move off of his box, just over here, so he keeps an eye out on other events. And he will shoot again. For 25 to hit for 10 damage.
Okay. You hit him in the other shoulder this time. Like,
That's not going to help his fighting.
he's not doing well. He looks like he's barely on his feet. This bandit captain friendo. But yeah. Is there anything else you want to do on your turn at all, or is that it?
No, that's all.
Okay. Hikan.
Non-lethal unarmed strike number 1. 26 for 10.
Okay. For the sake of it, how do you want to do this?
It's just like after sitting there and shouting at him, like, I just chop him right in the head. right after he tries to stab me, just whack.
Like he,
But non-lethal, so he's still alive.
he collapses to the ground. Yeah.
10 feet of movement over here, share space with Renji briefly. Oh, he's right there. So I will go here, parkour off the wall, behind him. Still making the noises for 2 more strikes. 12 and 22 for 7.
Okay, so the 22... Oh, wait, hold on. He's regular bandit. They both hit.
Ooh,
so you just
17.
So you wheel around and like you kick off the wall, and as you spin to land on the backside, you hit him with the back of the head with your foot. Yeah, he's down. Congratulations.
I just wanted to knock them out because they can probably they might be able to help us.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh man. But yes, through that brief encounter, where it wasn't a total perfect victory, they did manage to get one shot off. You have conquered the 2 unfortunate bandits that happened to be here in the wrong place at the wrong time, leaving you down in the sewers of Sarkoza, ready for our next session. In the meantime, thank you everyone so much for watching. I have been ArticulateT. I apologize profusely for the internet shenanigans that have been going on. It's Sky Internet in the middle of nowhere. It's going to happen. Joining me as always, I have had playing Renji Vox, TheNetherlad.
Thank you for listening or watching or however you're consuming this. How?
Playing Hikan Sio, I have Alvarance.
Strange Cthulhu noises.
Vertagen.
Playing
Yeah.
Playing Ziden Shari, I have had Rope Apart.
Farewell.
And playing Max, I have had Keistrith.
My hands.
We will see you next time. Bye.
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 Bye-bye.